Hi, in today's class I'm going to teach you the simple shift. Shifting is a way of using your footwork in order to surprise your opponent, to shorten the gap, and simply to change your stance so you can change the game. So let's begin. Once you are in your stance, remember that you always have a center line, okay? In this center line, you always, when you punch or when you do anything, you need to take your head out of the center line. You will never punch and have your head in the center line, okay? This jump rope is representing my center line. So for this shift, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step my rear foot. I'm going to step forward. But as I said before, I have to take my head out of the center line. So I'm shifting my weight a little bit to the right. In this case, I was doing as an orthodox. So from here, I'm already in my southpaw stance. I already switched my stance. And remember that my rear foot, like my rear foot that finishes, ends up in the ball of the foot, always. So I'll do it like this. Boom, and it ends in the ball of the foot. If you do it with a punch, that's the correct way of doing, because you have to always distract. When you're doing a shift, you should never only try to do it with just a step. You should always try to distract your opponent. So I would suggest that always use a jab or a punch. So from here, throw the jab, and you're already ending up in a different stance. That jab is not going to land at the same time as your step. What I mean is that most people think that you have to step and both have to land at the same time. That's not going to happen, because of course my arm is faster than my leg has to travel all this distance. So from here, I'll throw my jab and the leg comes afterwards, okay? So that's the most important thing. Shifting your weight to the right, your jab is of course perfectly. And now let's go and see why and when you should use it. So when should you use the simple shift? Normally you will use the simple shift so you can close the gap, but to be honest, the real way that I use it is when I want to switch my stance. Why would I want to switch my stance? Because once I switch my stance, the game changes completely. The lines of attack change completely. I can move this way a lot more naturally than this way. Of course, when you switch from a southpaw to an orthodox or orthodox to southpaw, the game changes completely. So it's a good thing that you can change your stances. So for this switch stance I said before, this is the first thing that is going to help you. The first advantage is that you can switch your stance and change the game. So, and the second one that I like it is that you can get an angle. That's the second one that I love. So from here you throw your jab, and once you step here, you are already in a position. This is called a strategic positioning. Why? Because here my foot is outside of his lead foot, which means that I'm already in this punch. First of all, it already lands to my opponent's jaw. And second of all is that since I'm already in a advantageous position, from here I can just switch and get in advantage position. So I repeat, I'll be feinting, I'll be changing levels, I'll be moving, I'll throw my jab, I change my angle, and I just punch from a blind side. Remember, for this you need great fundamentals, and for this I will show you a lot of different drills in my online courses. I leave you a link in the description below so you can go and buy. You can start training with me. It will be full-length classes from warm-up, all the drills. So don't waste any time, and I'll see you there in Viteri Boxing, okay? So link in the description below, and see you next week.